Hi travelers! So today I'm going to be talking about how you can cross the land border between Nicaragua and Costa Rica at Peñas Blancas. I'll also talk about how you can import your vehicle into Costa Rica and acquire a tip for it. I'll also be sharing with you what health insurance I got to enter Costa Rica, since they require a special health insurance that covers your costs in case you were to get sick with COVID. And once you acquire the health insurance, you also need to fill out a health pass. So I will post links to where you can do this in the description of this video. So to enter Costa Rica, whether you're traveling by land, sea, or air, you do not need a COVID test. But you do need a special medical health insurance that will cover you in case you are to get sick with COVID while you are in the country. So the insurance has to cover your medical expenses, and it has to cover your lodging. And it has to cover them for a minimum of $50,000. So Costa Rica offers an insurance, but it costs about $11 a day, so it's a little pricey if you're going to stay more than like a week. We wanted to stay for 2 weeks, so it was coming out to like $200 per person. So I did some research and I found a company called Trawick International that offers travel insurance, and I'll post a link to their website in the description of this video. And for 2 weeks, for me, I'm 32 years old, it costs $44 as well. For my boyfriend, who's also 31, it costs the same price. For my mom, who stayed for 3 weeks, who is almost 70 years old, it costs $67. And for my younger sister, who is 24 years old, who went to Costa Rica for 3 weeks as well, it costs $17. So the price varies depending on your age, but it's a way better option than paying for the Costa Rican medical insurance. When you're buying the insurance for Costa Rica, make sure you buy it a few days before you enter the country, because you cannot do it the same day, as you need to fill out a health pass, which is the next thing I'll talk about. So Costa Rica also requires you to fill out a health pass, and you can't do it until you've purchased the health insurance. So you go to a website, which I'll link in the description of this video, and you fill out a questionnaire. Basically, it's going to ask you if you've come into contact with anyone with COVID, if you've been experiencing any symptoms, and then it's going to ask you for a PDF of the proof of your health insurance that you can upload on the website. So once you have that, you have to submit it, and it has to be filled out within 48 hours of you entering the country. So as long as it's 48 hours before you enter Costa Rica, you'll be fine, and you should be approved as long as you have the right insurance. But you can't fill it out like 72 hours before, so it has to be 48 hours before. And then once you've filled it out and you've been approved, you'll get an email, and that email will have a QR code. So this QR code, you don't need to print it out or anything. They can scan it from your phone when you're at immigrations. You can print it out if you want, but you really don't need to, so there's no point in carrying around extra paper. They scanned it right off of my phone, my boyfriend's phone, and my mom and my sister flew into Costa Rica, and they also scanned it off their phones. So it's super easy. You fill out the form, it takes like 2 minutes. It sounds like a lot and it sounds complicated, but it's really not. To acquire a tip in Costa Rica, you're going to need a few things. So you're going to need the title of your car, your registration if your license plate isn't listed on the title, your passport, your driver's license, and cash. So it cost me, and you also need copies of all those things. It cost me $44 for my tip, but I'm not sure if the price for your tip varies depending on how long you're staying in Costa Rica. So my health pass was for 16 days, so they only gave me a tip for 16 days. They're very nitpicky about the title, the tip, and the health pass like matching lengths, because they don't want you overstaying the visa that they give you. The visa that they give you will be exactly for the amount of days that your health pass is good for. Okay, so the day comes to cross the border, you have all your copies ready, you have your paperwork, you have your health pass, everything's good. So you're gonna drive up to Peñas Blancas, and basically there's gonna be a ton of construction, at least there is right now, and there's gonna be a bunch of detours, and there's gonna be people directing traffic, and there's gonna be orange blockades, so you kind of just have to navigate around them. But then you're gonna arrive at a blue and white building. It's gonna be directly in front of you, and you're gonna park your vehicle. Once you park your vehicle, you're going to go up to the building. So they're going to charge you $1 to get into the building per person, and then you're going to wait in the immigrations line, and you're going to get to the booth, and they're going to charge you $3 to exit Nicaragua. So you can pay in US dollars, or you can pay in Cordobas, whatever you have. We had US dollars, so it was $4 each to exit Nicaragua. They stamp you out, and then if you have to close the tip for your vehicle, this is what you have to do. You're going to go through where they scan your luggage. If they might ask you to bring your luggage in, they didn't ask us, so we didn't have our luggage handy. We just like had our passports and stuff. You're gonna go past that, and on the other side of that room, there's going to be an aduana booth, and that's where you're going to ask for the aduana declarations form. So there will be a man there in a white polo shirt, and he'll ask you to fill it out. You'll fill it out, and this is to exit Nicaragua, so to close your tip. You'll fill that out, and then you'll bring it back to him, and he's going to sign it, and then he's going to direct you to go outside and find the police officer to have a police officer search your vehicle, and then once the police officer searches your vehicle, then they're going to sign off on the declaration form. And then once that's all done, you have to bring it back to that booth, and they're going to finalize the closing of your tip. It takes a while. We were there while there was like a bus of tourists coming into Costa Rica, so it like took forever. But it really shouldn't take that long if there's no line there. So once that's all done, everyone's signed off on your declaration form and your tip is closed, you get back in your car and you drive into Costa Rica. You'll hit a final checkpoint where they'll just like check your passport, whatnot, make sure you have your health pass for Costa Rica, and then you drive through. Once you drive out of Nicaragua, the first step into entering Costa Rica is you have to go through fumigation. So you just stay in the car, roll up the windows, and it's kind of like going through a drive-through. So when you're approaching the Costa Rica Immigrations building, you're gonna see a chain link fence on your left-hand side. There's also an ATM there if you need cash. And on the right-hand side, there will just be like spaces for you to park. So pull over, park there, and get in line. Like I said, we were stuck behind a bus full of people crossing the border. So we were standing in like 98-degree heat for like over an hour waiting for immigrations. But if there's no one there, like this really doesn't take long once it's your turn. So you also have to take your luggage out of your car because you're gonna have to put it through an x-ray machine when you're in immigrations. So we have a ton of stuff in our car. The only things we took out are our duffel bags with like our personal items and our clothes, and our backpacks with our like laptops and stuff. Everything else we left in the car. So you go up to the building, you wait in line, you go in, and they're going to ask you where you're staying. They're going to ask for your health pass, and they're gonna scan it on your phone. And the amount of time they're gonna give you for the visa is exactly the amount of time your health pass is good for. And then they're gonna stamp you into the country and welcome you in, and then you're gonna walk through that room, and on the right-hand side is gonna be the scanner for your luggage. So you'll put your, whatever you brought in, you'll put it through there. Once you're done with that, then you're officially welcome into Costa Rica. You'll go back to your car, put your luggage away, and then if you're standing with your back to the building you just exited, directly in front of you, there will be a little green building, and that's where you can start the process for your tip. So you'll go up there, you'll have your paperwork. Remember, you'll need your title, your registration if your license plate isn't listed on your title, your driver's license, and your passport. You're also going to need copies of all those documents, so make sure you have them ready. And for your driver's license, you need copies of the front and back. So the man or woman there is going to give you a white piece of paper, and you're going to fill out that form. He's going to sign off on it. Then he's going to come search your car. So once he searches your car, that's when he'll sign off on it. The search was like 2 minutes long. He like barely looked at anything. Like he opened our cooler and that was it. But he didn't like rummage through anything. He was really nice. And then he's going to instruct you to get back into your car, and you're going to drive out of this lot, and you're going to drive straight for about 75 meters. And on your right-hand side, you're going to see a road, and you're going to veer off onto that road, and you'll see a parking lot. So park there, and here's where you're going to continue the process for your tip. So you park, and the first thing you need to do is the stamp that they stamped inside your passport. You're going to need to make a copy of that. So if you're facing the building you're going to finish opening up your tip at, on the right-hand side there will be like a hallway, and it'll be like a chain link hallway, and you'll walk through it, and on the left-hand side you're going to see a little booth where they'll make copies. So I had to make copies of the stamp inside my passport because you need this to open the tip. It cost 50 colones, which is like 7 cents or something like that. So once you have that copy, you go back, and the building's going to be on your right-hand side. You're going to go there. There's going to be a police officer there. He's going to make sure that you have all your paperwork in order, all your copies. He's going to make sure you have cash to pay for the tip, and then he's going to let you come in, and they have like chairs set up inside. So there were 8 chairs in there, and he told me which one I had to sit in. So I sat in the one he told me to, and then when it was my turn, I got called up to the first booth. There, the person checked all my paperwork, and then I was told to sit back down in a different chair, so it was really weird. And then you go to there's 2 windows in that room. So the other window that I got sent to second after the first window was where I bought the insurance and paid for the tip. So it cost me $44 US. I paid in cash. You can probably pay in colones too if you have colones. I didn't ask about a credit card, I'm sorry, but there is an ATM there if you need it. So I paid for it. She gave me like a receipt, and then I was instructed to sit down in a different chair. It was like playing musical chairs, so I sat down in the different chair, and then I waited for the guy at the first booth to call me back. He made sure that I had paid. He told me, and then he issued my tip. So he looked through my paperwork, and then he issued me a tip for exactly the amount of days that my health pass was good for. So make sure that you don't overstay the tip, because he told me that if you overstay your visa, it's not a big deal. Like, you might get fined a few dollars, but you probably won't. But if you overstay your tip, he told me that you will get charged the taxes on the value of your car. And I don't know if that's the value, like what you paid for it in your home country. Like, it's probably the value that Costa Rica decides your car is worth, or what you wrote on your tip. I don't remember if they asked you that. But make sure you don't overstay, because you do not want to be stuck paying like $5,000 in taxes for your car, depending on what it's worth. So this part of the process only took about like 20 minutes while I was playing musical chairs, getting all the copies, but he gave me the tip and everything was fine. We got back in the car and we drove straight, and you hit one more checkpoint where they just make sure your tip's in order, check your passport, and they welcome you into the country. Also, when you are buying the tip, they also they have you buy mandatory car insurance, so you'll buy it there, and that was all included in the $44. Okay, so this border crossing took us almost 4 hours. I think it was 3 hours and 37 minutes or something like that. But it was because we were stuck behind the bus full of people. It probably had like 50 people on it, so we had to wait for all of them to go through immigrations and get their luggage checked. But the actual processes of everything you have to do probably would only take you like an hour and a half, but plan to be there for longer just in case. Okay, so to recap, the things you need to cross the border from Nicaragua into Costa Rica at Peñas Blancas are a health pass, the COVID health insurance, you need your passport, your driver's license, the title of your vehicle and your registration, and you need $44, possibly more, in cash for your tip. And then to exit Nicaragua, you need $4 US per person, or the equivalent in Cordobas. I think that's it. So if this was helpful, please check out my blog at groovinandcruisin.com. I will post a link to it in the description of this video, as well as all the other things I mentioned. And I will post a written version of this description in case you'd rather read than watch. So take care, everyone. Travel safe. I hope this was helpful. Bye.